Jennings.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
And here we go. Jennings heading to the hoop by himself. That's good. Jennings has got 4 this quarter.
France has really produced some quality NBA players. You think about Boris Diaw, Nick Batum. Batum actually carried France in that title game against Lithuania.
Here's Parker following the basket by Brandon Jennings. The baseline J. Kicks it out to Leonard. Pass to Duncan. Parker against Miller. Feeds to Baines. Here's Leonard. Good on the baseline J. Leonard's got his second basket of the night. And for Boris Diaw and Parker, they grew up together and they'd won a gold medal together in the U18 European Championships.
And for 13 years, they've tried to get that second gold medal. But I'll tell you, the quality of play around the world, Kevin, just continues to get tougher and tougher. And France definitely in that upper echelon.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
He dialed that one up from long distance. Tolliver's got a couple of three-pointers in the second for the Pistons. Jennings against Parker. Duncan with the screen for Parker. He kicks it to Green. And the pass to Duncan. Parker drives in.
Usually if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
And so as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started.
What a performance from Jennings here. 12 points and also 3 nice steals. He's been putting it up, and it's been going down 100% from the floor.
Yeah, he's just so focused right now. You can see it in his eyes.
On the court for San Antonio, Leonard and Duncan are... The pair at forwards. Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2, and it's Baines in at the 5. Here's Jennings following the score by Tony Parker. The 3 ball rebounded by Jackson. The Pistons shooting the lights out in this one, 77%.
Reggie Jackson is really strong and athletic, an excellent driver and finisher, especially when working off the pick and roll.
And for those of you turning in, we're about a minute into the second half. Jennings with the steal. Lays it in off the breakaway. Jennings has got 16 points.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at either end, steals, fast break buckets, and the other team scrambling to find its game.
Yeah, they've done a great job causing havoc and then taking advantage in transition offensively.
Here's Jennings following the score by Tony Parker. And Jackson with the basket on the assist from Brandon Jennings. Jackson's got his second basket of the game.
Up and in on every one of their first 3 shots to start the second half.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, Coach Greg Popovich, the reigning coach of the year, a big part of his approach is empowering players. He says, quote, it's a player's game, and they've got to take charge. Rather than try to manipulate them, he said, it's a great feeling when players get together and do things as a group. Kevin?
Thanks, Doris.
You know, giving his players room to lead and allowing them to take ownership, I mean, I think that's part of the genius of Popovich.
Here's Jackson, following the basket by Tim Duncan.
Can't connect there, but still a red-hot start to the half, hitting 4 of their first 5 field goal attempts.
Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Green's got his first points of the night. Pistons have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall, 80% since the break. You would think that a team like the Pistons, Clark, who struggled as they did, would have trouble with teams out west, but they really held their own.
You know, that was surprising. They weren't exactly taking the conference by storm, but they definitely were able to knock off a few of the powerhouses out there.
And here's Duncan, following the 3 from Caron Butler, and he gets it to go.
One of the reasons they're behind is because we haven't seen enough of that. He needs to become a bigger part of the offense.
From deep. Good. Butler's got a pair of 3s now here in the 3rd for Detroit.
And to go back to what you said with the Pistons, they had a bad record against the West, but a lot of those games were close.
Jennings with the steal. And oh, here we go. Jennings with nobody back. Hammers it in after taking it the length of the floor.
And the defense just lets him go there.
And once he hit the open floor, there was no looking back, straight to the rack.
The Spurs have gone 5 of 7 from the field in the 3rd quarter. Let's see if they can keep it up.
For a team like the Pistons that wasn't going to make a lot of noise last year in terms of competing, I think it's a good sign that they did have some tough games against some of the Western Conference opponents where they did compete at a playoff-type level.
Clark, they're really struggling guarding that three-point line.
And they're not making up for it with their own shots from deep either, Steve.
Back to Parker. To end the run. And that one goes long.
You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle. And that's held true in this one so far, Steve.
And even if it's only a modest advantage that they have in that category, it's still a significant factor.
San Antonio's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they've let it fly from downtown. Outside, Green. The tray. Duncan tried to break loose. Goes back up. Can't get it to go. Good work defensively by Monroe. The Pistons shooting an almost unfair 78% from the field.
Was another fast break score against them, and they just aren't getting back on D in transition. They've got to sprint back and find the ball.
Well, and at the very minimum, push the ball at the other end as well. I mean, if they're going to score on you in transition, you got to try to do the same thing at the other end.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Andre Drummond. Prince comes in for Butler. And it's Jody Meeks in for Brandon Jennings. Good. There's 21 seconds left to play in the 3rd. Jackson passes to Prince. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. 10 points for Prince.
This is incredible. It's been a three-point barrage since halftime.
Yeah, whether by design or by accident, it has been impressive.
Mills dishes to Diaw. Here's Ginobili. Off target with that shot. The 3 quarters of play all in the